What's going on with you? This is your boy Stretch again. On my first video I showed you how to take off the chain. In the second video I'm going to show you how to take off the rear tire and then remove the rear sprocket and replace the rear sprocket. First thing you want to do is come over here to the right side of the bike and you want to take off the nut or the bolt that holds your axle on. Normally in here, as you can see on the top, the hole that goes all the way through, there's usually a cotter pin in there just to make sure that your bolt don't decide to turn on you while you're riding. I've already removed that and I've already released or loosened the bolt up. So now all I have to do is just take this off. There you got your axle sitting out right there. Next thing you want to do is these two nuts right here. Once again, this is a stretch bike, so it has an aftermarket swing arm on it. On the stock swing arm, it'll have two nuts on it as well. They'll be in a different spot, but they do the same thing. They pretty much what you use to tighten the chain and keep the tire from going back to the front. You got your bolt, the first nut on the inside that actually tightens your chain, it pushes the tire back, and then you got the second one that just holds that one in place. Once you finish tightening everything up, put that one there to keep the first one from coming loose. Alright, so you see I got my nuts loose here. Just loosen them on up. I'm going to go on to the other side. And it's the same thing. I haven't loosened both of these yet, but I already got the back one loose. And once you get the back one loose, you just undo the front one as well. Now once you got those bolts loose, what that does now, it allows the tire to slide forward or slide backwards. Especially when you're getting ready to put your new chain on, you want to keep it slid forward so you can put your chain on where you want it at. And once you get it on to the right length you want it, then you go ahead and use those to tighten it back up. But we'll go through that in another video. Next thing you want to do now is go ahead and remove that rear axle. Now depending on the type of bike you got and the swing arm you got, that rear axle, once you start removing it, it also holds your brake caliper in place. So once you start pulling that rear axle out, you want to make sure that you keep it from falling and hitting the ground. So just keep your hand over there, hold it, or it'll be better if you actually have somebody help you to grab it while you pull the axle out. Alright, then once you got the axle out, as you can see, the brake caliper just lays there now. So you just lay it down on the ground or on something, wherever you want to put it at. If it don't reach all the way down, you might want to use a zip tie, something to hold it up. That way it's not just dangling and pulling on your line. Also, you want to put your rear axle, you want to lay it on something. You don't want to lay it on the ground because it has grease on it, which before it goes back in, we got to make sure we re-grease it. And if you just lay it on the ground and let it roll onto the ground, then it'll start picking up all kinds of dirt, and you don't want that in your back axle. So the next thing we do now, we're going to take this over and go ahead and get this sprocket on off of there. Usually when I do it, I use a impact. Makes it a lot easier, a lot quicker, but you can also use a wrench and get those nuts on off of there. So once you get your tire out somewhere, all you want to do is just pull your sprocket on off and rock it out. Be careful you got those in there. And they pretty much keep the sprocket from being able to move around while it's on the rim. So we're going to take it over, set it down here. Like I say, you can use a wrench, but easiest thing is to use an impact. Alright, so I'm having some technical difficulties with one of the bolts that was stripped. Don't seem to be wanting to come off, so I'm gonna have to find a way to go ahead and make it come off. So that'll be all for this here. The last thing was to take that last bolt off there, pull it off, pop the new one on, put the bolts back on, pop it back on the tire. After I get this nut off of here, then I'll resume with the rest of the video as far as putting the tire back on. But for now, I'll catch y'all later. Remember, this is Stretch. Like, subscribe, leave some comments. Appreciate it.